live one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Hey, did you all see that? What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition. This is season 7, y'all, of Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie K Ward. So glad to have you all here. I'm super excited. We have international recording artist Garry Percell is our special guest tonight. Of course, Dr. G is in the house, and of course, Chef D is in the house. And so while we're getting prepared for the show, don't forget to go over to YouTube. Hello, all of my YouTube subscribers and listeners following us. K Ward Radio. Make sure you follow that page. The website, kwardradio.com, is the website. I see people coming in the room. Hey, to recording artist Ona B, my bestie. Christine Taylor, I see you. Hey, Colleen. Hey, Jason. So glad to see you. Are you all ready to kick off Artist Talk? Well, let's go ahead and start the show right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K Ward.
Everybody, welcome back to the show. Happy Monday. I'm super excited to be here again. I'm your host, Jazzie K Ward. Welcome to another great show tonight of Artist Talk. I'm super excited to have my friend recording artist, guitarist, Mr. Garry Percell, is our guest tonight. Okay. So, in the meantime, as people come in the room, make sure you put in the comments where you are watching from. Uh, we love to see that. I see people coming in the room, and please share the video, share the live, and then invite your friends and family, co-workers, everybody into the room. Hey, Ona B, Colleen, I see you. And hey, Christine, she said, hello, I'm new. Well, Christine, welcome. We are family. Welcome to Artist Talk. Kathleen, we see you too, Jason. Welcome to the Artist Talk family. We are super excited to have you. I hope you guys had a great weekend. You know what? The weekend always goes by super fast, right? It goes by way too fast. I think about, I watched a great movie. I don't know if y'all are a big movie person, but The Mother of the Bride, it's on Netflix. Make sure you check it out. It's starring Brooke Shields in it. It's a pretty funny movie. So I'm going to bring in, another partner in crime, Dr. G, who does our segment of Mind, Body, and Soul on the show. And before we get started, we're going to see what's been happening with Dr. G. There she goes. Oh,
Trying to be too shady with my shades on, you know.
okay. Dr. G, my friend.
Happy Monday. We made it. We made it. And you said weekend. What weekend? That went by so fast. I laid down. It was Friday. I woke up. It was Monday.
I know, right? It's I don't, Dr. G. I mean, why do you have on shades?
Because our guest that's coming on, he got us in that mood of putting on our shades. We're not being shady. We just being cool. We just being cool. Well, I'm sorry, cooler than we normally are. We're not trying too hard, but
Yeah, if you don't follow Garry Percell, as we say on the show, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. So you had a great weekend?
I did, but it was too short. I did go see The Wiz this weekend with my mom. I took her to see The Wiz. It was pretty good. Listen, you artists, we get it. Nothing's going to ever beat the original, but it was good. It was good.
It was good. Okay. So how long is it playing in New York?
I don't know. You asked me questions. I don't know. I got to take it back in maybe a month and a half ago. I think it's going to be here a little while. It was still, it's been here for a couple of months, and the crowd is still pretty there. So I think they're going to try to take all our money.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I love that. And we're so looking forward, Dr. G, to your segment, Mind, Body, and Soul, at the bottom of the hour.
I should get a topic by now, right? Okay, let me work on that.
Well, we'll see you a little bit later, okay?
Yes, see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Dr. G. That's Dr. G. Make sure you follow her also on IG. So, hey, y'all, before I kick off the show, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my special guest, Garry Percell. Now, he hails from North Carolina. Garry Percell has played the guitar for over 25 years and has had a solid background in electric and acoustic guitar. Now, Garry said God has blessed him to share the stage with a number of artists, also including some gospel artists like Richard Smallwood, Luther Barnes, Lee Williams, and the QCs. I know all of them, and many other artists in the gospel industry. Now, when he's not on the road, Garry can be found in his studio called Upward Bound Recording Studio, creating new music, like some of his smashing hits like Smooth Struck, Reaction, featuring Jason Jackson, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. I'm just teasing with Marcus Anderson, bro. Now, you can listen to Garry Percell's music on most stations around the world. He has some new music. This new song, I don't know if you all have heard it, but it's titled Going in Circles, featuring none other than R&B groomer himself, Mr. Tony Terry. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our special guest, international recording artist and guitarist, Mr. Garry Percell. My friend, Garry.
Yes, Jazz, is so good to be with you on tonight. I am so excited.
I'm excited to have you, my brother. And Garry, you came in with the shades on, so Dr. G and myself, we had to get the shades.
Yeah, and I had to explain that a little bit coming in because I have sensitive eyes to the light.
Right.
And so when the camera's on and the lights are up, whatever, I'm squinting really hard, And so I said, let me throw my shades on. So not trying to be too cool, but
Right.
hey,
I
yeah,
understand. Hey, I
yeah.
get it. I get it. I
So
like it,
it's a
my brother.
shade night. It's a shade night. Cool.
It's a shade night. It's a whole vibe over here, y'all. It's a
Yeah.
whole vibe. And so in the meantime, uh, hey JC, so she said fabulous track, Gary.
Oh, thank you so much, JC.
Uh,
Wonderful.
and my
Yeah.
friend and my brother Patrick Lamb, he said
Oh
he
yeah.
loves Gary.
Yeah. Patrick and I, we break bread all the time, man.
Yeah,
Good dude. Good dude.
yeah,
Good dude.
he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Mhm. Mhm.
uh, Tonight. And everybody, for those who are watching, also my YouTube family, for those watching on Facebook, we're also on Soul TV, and we're also on the Roku channel, Inside Indie Artist channel on the Roku network. So wherever you are across the world, again, thank you so much for your support and watching the show. In the meantime, go over to GaryPercell.com, which is
Mhm.
his website. Check out the website, the merchandise, download some music, buy some music. We're going to get a chance to hear and listen to that latest release, that Going in Circles. I'm telling you, it's going to spin your head, y'all. It's going to spin your head. It's one of those songs that makes you, Gary, like the other day I was leaving the radio station on Saturday
Mhm.
and I got in my truck and I played it off of YouTube and put it, and so I was on 85 going home.
Yeah.
And before I looked up, I'm almost at the Georgia line listening to your music.
Yeah.
And when that get, so I had Going in Circles like on repeat.
Wow. Wow.
And before I looked up, I said, what the what? I'm almost here on the Georgia line. So since I was on the Georgia line, Going in Circles, right? I said, well,
Yeah.
I might as well at least stop by and buy me some lottery tickets. So
Gotcha. Yeah, it is a vibe. Going in circles is a vibe. And although is my particular song,
mhm,
this version anyway. Every time I listen to it, even now
mhm.
to the day, it just really takes me to that space.
All right. Oh, I
And
understand.
so I am so grateful,
Right.
for those who created the song way before me.
Okay.
When they birthed it in 1969. So the
Right.
song is still alive, a classic song.
A very classic song. We're going to have a talk about that a little bit. Good evening, my friend Whittington Steele, Ona B. Thank you all so much for coming in. So, Gary, we're going to kick this off. I do a segment called The Real You. So
Okay,
I'm just going to ask you like three questions,
sure.
uh, for our audience to get to know you a little bit better,
Mhm.
just to who you are. So my first question is, what would you like? No, tell me the most interesting thing you have ever done.
Wow, the most interesting thing that I've ever done,
Mhm.
has to be, and I have to mention that is something that's very simple. It is that when one of my children, and I hope all of them not listening right now, but one of my children, when Chantel, my daughter, when she was learning how to ride a bicycle, and that was very interesting as a father, and learning her how to ride a bicycle. It says, okay, keep paddling, then
Right.
let your hands go. And so that was a pretty interesting thing there. But hey,
Okay.
I've had a pretty interesting life, so that's just one of them.
This is one of them. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. Thank you.
yeah.
So tell me something that you will never do again.
Wow. Something that I will never do again. I don't know if I should share that one. I don't know.
Okay. I
I
get it.
don't, Jazzy, I don't know if I should share that one. So I'm gonna leave that one alone.
You're gonna leave. Okay, we're gonna move over from that way. Uh, how about what do you wish you could tell? What do you wish you could tell your current self that you maybe couldn't tell your 25-year-old self?
That everything is going to be all right.
All right.
As you live, you live and you learn and you live. And at the age of 25, you think that you're invincible, and you think that nothing can, everything just going to bounce off you, and no matter what you do, uh, you can just kind of do that. But there are, just like there are reactions to every action.
All
So
right.
if I could tell my 25-year-old self, it says, don't do that ever again, because
Mhm.
there's a reaction to that. And but life is just that way. You fall down, you bump your head, you brush
Mhm.
yourself off, and you get back up.
That's
Mhm.
right. That's right. I like
Yeah.
that. What's your favorite song to dance to and why?
Wow, favorite song to dance to. Oh, man, if you hadn't asked me that question, uh, oh, what is her name? What is her name? I can't even think of the name of the
Yeah.
song, but it's one of my favorite tunes. It'll come to me before the show is over.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. You ever had, you have one of those songs, and I'm get the same way. And it's just sometimes one of those songs that just stop you in your tracks. If you had a
Mhm,
light, you're just sitting in the car, you get home, it just kind of makes you groove. I mean,
mhm,
I have a
mhm.
lot of favorite songs, but it's I think it's music is so inspiring and it's a vibe and it's a
Yeah.
connection that we get with music and just like your music that
Mhm.
makes you feel I think the true essence in your soul and that's what
Yeah,
music does for me anyway.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
when you think about it, if you do later in the show, then you can
Right.
tell us. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's something, it's called Encore, I believe,
Oh,
the
Cheryl.
lyric Cheryl Lynn, yes, sir. When that song drops, it drops hard,
Yes, it does.
and it grabs you, and you got to get up.
You
Yeah.
got to get up. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned her, Gary. I was
Mhm.
watching something one night because I'm always up late, and she was on a program. And
Mhm.
recently they did an article on Cheryl Lynn, and
Mm,
she was talking about the music business and
mm,
protecting your business and knowing the business
mhm,
of the music business. Because she said when she
mhm,
did that song,
mhm,
she said that song has blowed up that she is making so much money
mm,
off of that song because she said, please keep sharing it. People are using it on TikTok videos. People are using it everywhere.
it's
And
everywhere.
it's everywhere. And she was talking about she owns the rights to that music. She, her
Oh, she got
catalog.
paid. She got
Oh,
paid.
she got
She got paid.
she got paid.
It's still
And,
getting paid.
and still getting paid.
Mhm.
That's one of my skating songs. Oh, do you skate, Dan?
I don't.
You don't okay.
I
Okay.
never could. Yeah.
Never good. that's one of my
Yeah.
that's one of my skating songs. So, hey, everybody. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the show, Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzy K. Ward. Our special guest is international recording artist, contemporary jazz and R&B guitarist, Mr. Garry Percell is here. Again, if you have questions or comments, you can put those in the comment section. I promise you we'll do our best to answer those. And so, Gary, again, welcome to the show. I want to tell you thank you so
Mhm.
much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang
Mhm.
out with me, Jazzy, a little bit to
Mhm.
talk with you about your music.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here. So glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
going back to what 2020 when this
Yeah.
thing called the pandemic happened. What
Absolutely.
what was life like for you? And do you remember what you were actually doing during that time?
During the pandemic, I'll have to go back to 2019,
Okay.
and I started to really, because I've been in the music industry, music business for probably 30 years or more,
Mhm.
and really started to say, okay, uh, it's time to go solo, because I had played with so many as a sideman with so many legendary groups and so many other different groups and
Okay.
part of their organization. But in 2019, I says, well, Gary, this is your bucket list. So bottom line is that you need to step out and do
Right.
something for yourself. So I did a demo song in 2019 just to put out a test marketing of the brand.
Okay.
And that was one of Every Time I Close My Eyes by Kenny Babyface Evans. I did an
Wow.
instrumental version of that, but it never went to radio per se. But I think Jazzy received it and you played it on
Oh,
your station. And so during that time and after that during the pandemic, I said, well, this is a great time. You can't really go out and tour. You can't
mhm.
really go out and do any shows and
Right.
things of that. Everything is shut down. So what I will do, I'll just hibernate in the studio and work on my music. And there's a silver lining in everything. And
Oh,
so the
yeah.
silver lining in COVID was it gave musicians like myself an opportunity to just hibernate and work on good music to bring out to the people.
Right. I love that. Was there
Yeah.
anything that you learned different about yourself, Gary? Because you know, a lot of times before the pandemic, I think a lot of us, the hustle and the bustle, it was
Mhm,
always go, 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 but then we couldn't
mhm,
go anywhere. Did you
mhm.
learn anything maybe different about Gary?
Well, it made you definitely slow down and look inside yourself and to see and start really just looking at your own life, because
Right,
we know what the pandemic did to so many people and so many friends and friends of mine
right.
who didn't make it through the pandemic,
Oh yeah.
and it really made you just cherish life and
Mhm.
take it slow sometimes.
Oh
You
right.
know, that's a good
That's true.
song. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good song.
I-
Yeah.
that song, every time I close my eyes, I remember when I first heard it. And I
Mhm.
still play that song today. And you
Wow.
also did a drop going
Mhm.
into the song, and you said, "Hey, don't quote me, not exact the same words. Hey, this is Garry Percell, and
Yeah.
every time I close my eyes, I think of WVAS 90.7 with
Yes,
Jazzy K.
sir.
Ward."
I sure did. I sure did. I remember that.
There goes
Abs Absolutely, absolutely, and I meant it. So,
I really,
yeah, yeah, and I meant it. Yeah.
I appreciate that so much. So when we think about jazz, you know, a lot of, you know, I can even go back being a history buff that I am and
Mhm,
think about music. If you even go back, say, to the civil rights movement, and
mhm,
music played such a very integral part
mhm,
in the struggle. If you go back down, I always tell people music will bring people out, whether
mhm,
it's a block party, even in the civil rights movement, when they got ready for voting rights registrations, demonstration,
mhm,
they had
mhm,
music, right?
mhm, mhm.
Music was every, whether it was gospel, whether it was jazz, whether it was
Yeah,
blues,
yeah.
it there was music. And so my question to you
It
is
it
why should people care
yeah.
about jazz music and or music in general?
Well, music music is something that can overcome any situation. Music can overcome language barriers.
Hmm.
Music can overcome what no matter what race that you are, it can
Right.
bring so many people together. It
Hmm.
really can. It's universal,
Oh yeah.
and music is something that can penetrate your soul,
Oh
and
yeah.
so it's so important to our everyday life. And I say this all the time is that not just the music we hear on radio or on our devices in the form of a song as we know,
All right.
but a lot of times, and I live out in the countryside and I love it. You know, I can walk out on my deck and it's nothing but just woods all around,
Right.
and I
Right.
can come out early in the morning and sit on my deck and I can hear music because the birds are singing, you
Right.
know, and the trees are singing. And if we
Right.
would just understand that music is all around us all the time, and that vibe is always around us. That's why we feel good. You know, when we go outside,
Right.
we hear the birds singing and we
Right.
hear the leaves chattering through the trees and
Right.
all of that. That is universal music, you
That's true.
know.
That
And
is so
so it penetrates our heart. It changes our mood, you know, it changes our thought, you know. So music is so important, you know.
it, it is.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, Gary, a world without any music?
I cannot. I cannot imagine that. It would be so boring.
It would be right. I just like, what would I do? You ever got in the car before and you've been driving and you realize, you know, sometimes I think, you know, those are moments maybe that you need. You ever got in the car and realize it's so quiet in here, and you may
Mhm.
not have turned your radio on.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you know, sometimes we have those moments, and maybe that's God
Yeah.
talking to us. Sometimes maybe you need a moment, you know, to yourself. But music brings back. I mean, it could bring back, of course, loving moments.
Mm.
It could bring back
Yes,
sad moments
of
because we
course.
can all relate some kind of
Mhm.
way. And I even think about that through your music. When I think about jazz,
Yeah.
especially being instrumental, for me,
Yes.
I can just prime example, like when I close my eyes or don't
Mhm.
stop or reaction,
Mhm.
it gives me a chance, Gary, to go back and for me to meditate and kind of add my own story
Mhm. Mhm.
to that. And so the actual question is like, what's your creative process? Prime example, you know, going in circles. What was your creative process of putting that song together?
Well, working on my EP, and here in my studio where I am now. And so, as musicians, what we do is that we work on more than one song at a time. And
Okay.
so we would go in our studio, and sometimes I would just come here in my studio and just kind of push play, or what I call when I create a what I call a multi-session. So we have
Okay.
more than one song in that session. So if I just push play, it would go from one song to the next song to the next song.
Okay.
And so in doing so, and with going in circles, is that I was listening to all of the songs, and then
Okay.
going in circles came on, because I've always wanted to do something with that song. You know,
Okay.
Friends of Distinctions, 1969. What a
Yeah.
great year! We were talking about the movement. We were talking about us coming together. All those things. We were talking about songs, you know, of our life,
Right.
and so that song always have stuck with me since 1969. And so
Okay.
when I was listening to it in a session
Mhm.
and heard it, it originally supposed to be an instrumental, as you were talking about. It was going to
Okay.
be an instrumental song. But then as I was listening to the song, I realized, I says, I don't have any songs on my on my EP
Okay.
that are lyric, you know,
Okay.
for someone lead singing. And so as I was listening to the song, and then I heard a voice
Mhm.
that was singing the song back to me.
Right.
And that voice of that song that was singing back to me was Tony Terry. It was
Wow.
his voice, and it
Right.
just fits so perfectly, you know.
Right.
And so I said, man, um, I don't know if I could get Tony to sing this song, you know. And the scripture says, you know, you have not because you ask not. So that's what I did. I reached out to his management team, and surprisingly, they responded back to me.
Oh, wow.
And then they says, yeah, well, Tony wants to speak to you, such and such, blah blah blah. You know,
Mhm.
so you do everything, you do the business. And Tony
Okay.
called me. He says, oh man, he says, great song. I've always wanted to cover this song, and began everything.
Oh, wow.
And it just came together with their creative process. A lot of times it's just songs that we've heard, if it's a
Mhm.
cover tune that meant something to us down through our
Right.
lives. And then sometimes it's just music that comes to you. I'm gonna tell you something that's really weird and
Okay.
about musicians and about myself. You talked about it, you mentioned is that sometimes I can get in my car and I won't even turn the radio on at all.
Right.
And what happens is that as I'm driving, I can hear the sound of my engine.
Right.
And and the engine actually makes a sound, and it makes a sound according to the speed. And so as you go faster, the pitch gets higher. You know, you
Right.
go slower, the pitch gets lower.
Mhm.
So sometimes I don't even have to look down at my speedometer, and I
Mhm.
can tell exactly how fast I'm going, not by what I see on the dial, by what I hear.
By what you hear.
Isn't that amazing about
Right.
music and the sound?
That is. That is. And
Yeah.
I even been talking a little bit more about the song. Who else did you work with? Anybody else on this song outside of Terry? I
I did. I
Okay.
did. I did. A lot of my songs that I worked with jazz guitarist Adam Hawley, and we became friends several years ago. I went to a music festival, and he was on that bill of that festival,
Okay.
and actually, we were just kind of in the same space at that time,
Okay.
and so. I recognized him. I had listened to his music prior, but had never really met him, but saw some
Okay.
clips.
Okay.
And so I went over to him and spoke to him, and he introduced himself. I just introduced myself,
Mhm.
and that began the relationship between Adam and I, as far as producing and co-producing. And
Mhm.
so one thing led to another. Of course, don't stop. You know, that was the first one. From there,
Right.
and then the next one, and the next one, and then we've got to going in circles. And so I reached out to Adam once again. I says, "Hey, got this great tunes that I think I want to cover." So he says, "Let's begin work on it." And that's the process. So Adam is on the other end as producer and co-producer on this song too as well. A lot of great musicians, you know,
Okay.
on the song too as well. And so we have those people that made great contributions to this great record.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I love it. And by the sound of my voice, everyone, please, it will be streaming at the bottom of the screen. GarryPercell.com is his website. Wherever music is streaming, it's available. Spotify, I'm sure YouTube, Apple Music. Please go download. It is out today. We want to push the song to #1, y'all. We want to push it, y'all. We need to definitely do that. And Garry needs your support.
Yes,
So
yes.
what we want to do, Garry, I want to play a little bit of it. So for those who have not heard it, let's play a little snippet of Garry Percell's latest release. This is Going in Circles, and it's featuring Mr. Tony Terry.
Destination for real. I've been ever spending time whirling around until I drop. Oh, what am I supposed to do? My mind is in a one small thing to cling to. You got me going in circles. Round and round I go. You got me going in circles, baby.
Wow. That song. Oh my goodness.
I
I don't know. How did you even keep your composure doing that song? See, I love music. And
mm,
just to hear that, Gary, like
yeah.
how long did it take y'all to like complete that song?
Oh, wow. Adam and I did the track at
Mhm.
first. Adam's on the West Coast, Los Angeles, and of course, I'm here on the East Coast. So we go back and forth, says, "Hey, uh, how you like this? How you like that?" We went back and forth. I sent him some guitar parts, such and such, back and forth. Yeah, and that's kind of how we did. And other musicians came into the mix, and we just kind of built the song and build the song and build the song. And at one particular point, because I am contemporary jazz, we
Mhm.
considered this being more of a jazz song, really
Right,
hard jazz, contemporary jazz, than with the R&B flavor that it has now. And
right.
so the guitar solo at the end, that I put in there
Oh,
was originally supposed to have been a jazz kind of mellow, jazzy kind of solo. But
okay.
then after we were listening to it and I was listening to it, I said, wow, this song has got that R&B, the old time R&B flavor to it.
Ooh.
So I got to go back and get some Ernie Isley on this joint.
You did that.
Yeah, so I felt like, for the R&B flavor with the song, or where it kind of morphed into, it just called for that
Oh yeah.
sustained guitar singing, passionate guitar part, though the Ernie Isley kind of thing, to
Okay.
ground us into that R&B. Yeah.
All right. What's that? I love that. And I want to have a little bit more
Yeah.
conversation with Gary Percell. And that's right, Ron. Ron said such a,
Yeah.
great song. He can listen to it over and over. Chantel says such a great rendition. And everybody, please, I've been calling too. Sirius XM Radio, Heart and Soul. Get them to play it. All you have to do is call 866-478-6262. And just,
Mm,
it's a voicemail. I promise you, it takes less than 30 seconds
yeah.
to do this. Just call and support this song. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But right now, we're going to go to Dr. G with Mind, Body, and Soul. And we're going to have more conversation with our special guest, smooth jazz and R&B guitarist, Mr. Gary Percell. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Amen.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
All that singing, I had to, I was
Oh,
parched. I was parched. I'm sorry, I was parched. I know. Listen. No autographs. No autographs. Just stop. Okay,
I love it.
stop.
I love it, Dr. G. I'm telling you, after hearing that song, Dr. G, can you check my blood pressure?
I can see how you ended up in Georgia. Just let it play on repeat.
Right.
Nothing like good music that will soothe the soul.
Yeah, yeah. And Dr. G, I tell people, I know May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We talked a little bit more about that. And music helps you through so much. And I don't mean for you to have to go back and talk about that again, but
But yeah, it's just a form of expression. And
Mhm.
sometimes you can't find the words, but you will find that one song that you like. Were they listening to my story? Was somebody just stole my story?
Right.
But and it's funny because before the show, we talk behind the scenes, and I said, let me go follow, Garry on Instagram. And then when I pulled up Instagram, what did I see? Such advertisements for all these things, and I've been seeing across the board about colostrum. And people don't probably know what colostrum really is, but they probably going out there and buying it. Hey, Kenneth, they go out there and buy. So let's just talk about colostrum. You'll see it as just colostrum or bovine colostrum. So what colostrum is, people that you all are running out to go buy and take it in a pill form or a powder form, it's just breast milk.
Oh,
But the thing about that, and the bovine part just means it comes from a mammal. So it comes from a mammal species and it's colostrum. But the thing about that is it is so nutrient dense that it is antiviral. It helps antibacterial. It helps prevent diarrhea. It helps any kind of GI problems you may have. If
okay.
you're a person who works out, take it after a workout. It will help with muscle recovery. You won't have that soreness in your bones.
Okay.
And it helps building muscle mass. But the thing about this is women only produce this in the first 2 to 5 days after giving birth. After that, it's gone. So they get it from cows, of course, and they put it in pill form or you get it in powder form. So it's a great thing to take. But you know, you guys always like to go to Dr. Google and start buying this stuff. You should not be taking this for more than 8 weeks
Oh,
if you're
wow.
going to put it into your diet. It helps with weight loss as well. And it's nothing new. They've been using this for many, many years in AIDS patients because it helps line that gastrointestinal wall. So for those who have the viruses and they have this vomiting and diarrhea, it stops all that. The bad side is if you don't like dairy, you can't take it because it's a dairy product. And sometimes it works in reverse where it will give you diarrhea or gas problems. So look into it. If you like it, it's for you. Always consult your doctor and not Dr. Google. So when you
Right.
see these ads, just around and buy stuff, get to know what you're getting. But colostrum is a very great thing. You could use it. You should use it, but don't overuse it. Too much of a good thing is not good for you.
That is so true. So things like I drink like protein shakes, that's not inside of those kind of drinks, right?
No, no.
Okay.
And if you're going to purchase something like colostrum, I don't advertise brands. I don't push brands. I don't get paid to
Right.
all this. Look at your ingredients, and the only ingredients in there should be colostrum. If
Gotcha.
you have more than it in that, go on to the next one. Go on
Okay.
to the next one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we love it. I always
Keep
learn
drinking your
something
breast
new.
milk. Look, keep drinking your breast milk.
Right. That's true. That's true, Dr. G. Dr. G, and let people know how to find you too.
You can find me on my website, theapplife.info, or on Instagram, Dr. Shawnee0730. What I'm going to need your people to do on this platform, I got to get one name across the board. So I'm going to have some new names thrown out there. They can throw things out to me what it should be. And let's try to get one thing across the board so it's uniform. You
Okay.
know.
I love that. And
Okay.
question for Dr. G. Skinner, can you spell that, please? That
IT. IT. I'm sorry. Spell what? You said spell it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spell the name of the milk.
Colostrum is COLOSTRUM. Y'all trying to test me? Spelling bee? I'm just playing. It's COLOSTRUM. And you'll see it as colostrum, or you'll see bovine, BOVINE, colostrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you could just probably wait until your wife or girlfriend is pregnant, and then you can just get the milk that way.
No, because you want to give it to babies. You know, they give it to babies because that's what helps the babies get very healthy in that 2 to 5 days. Don't take from the babies. Don't do that.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, you said all right, 2 to 5 days.
2 to 5 days is that's all they have. It once you give birth, you
Oh,
got 2 to 5 days. That's all they get. That's it. So
that's
yeah.
it. Okay, I love that, Dr. G. And let them know about. Are we going to talk about Nia the German?
Do you have your copy? Like, you don't have a copy of Nia? Like, where is she? Finding Nia. Finding Nia.
I have
Finding.
mine.
Oh, let me see. Show me.
Oh, hold on.
Because you know, listen, we gotta make sure that he's too busy with his shades on, y'all. He can't see nothing. That's the problem. And I got mine on. I can't see nothing either. Trying to be cute. But that is you to grab your copy on the website, or just message me here. I'll get back to you. She's still fighting those germs. She's part of the colostrum fan. She's fighting germs and antibacterial.
That's right. That's right, Dr. G.
I gotta throw it in there.
And Dr. G, I have to ask you in the OR. Before you all start surgery, would y'all please play Garry Percell's music in the OR?
You know, this is gonna be this should put that on our list of sedatives because it gets you in that mellow mood, starts you off smooth. No, he didn't try to play this out. But it's a good going to sleep music and waking up from surgery. So we can play it twice.
Yeah, you can play it times. And yeah, and you tell people, download the song too. Go buy it. Go buy
I love it. I love it. I
I
love it.
love it. And Dr. G, you're gonna hang out, right?
Yes, I am. I'm here for it all.
Okay. So ladies, that's Dr. Chantel. Again, give them your website.
Theapplife.info.
Okay. Make sure you go.
Proactive and prevention. That's what we all about. Living longer and healthier. Yes, let's go, people.
Let's go. So we're going to bring our special guest back into the box, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Garry Percell. You're gonna bring him back. There we are, my friend.
I'm back.
You're back. I don't know.
Mhm.
Have you, I never heard of that before. When Dr. G, the colostrum, the milk. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have never heard of that. That's my first time, so I was listening very closely.
Learn something new
Mhm.
every day. But you know,
Mhm.
this going in circles. You know what? I could when the song first comes on, Gary. That's what gets me. The way
Mm.
you all come in and he said, ooh, ooh, ooh. Now I'm not gonna try to sing, but that's the way it comes on. It's just like that. If you got a microphone, you just have to drop whatever you got in your hand. Just drop it. You
Mm.
know, the song is going to
Yeah,
be amazing, my friend. And just to
yeah.
go back a little bit too, Gary, when you think about music and going back to your younger days, like who inspired you to do music?
My mother was a pianist, and she played for the church, a lot of different churches in our small town.
Okay.
And so I come from a musical family. So
Right.
my mother played piano. My
Mhm.
oldest sister played piano. My other sister played piano.
Okay.
One of my brothers played bass guitar, and so it was a lot of music going on in our house.
Mm.
So the inspiration was that really, just trying to follow my mother's footsteps as a musician,
Okay.
and just moving forward through everything. Inspiration came from a lot of people in my neighborhood that
Good.
picked up a
Okay.
guitar. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
inspiration came from a lot of different places.
yeah. I was going to ask you when you think like with your immediate family, did y'all
Mhm.
ever record anything together, Gary?
We never recorded anything together. We really didn't. Um, Mom, was a very, Christian lady in with music and everything. So you can
Okay.
imagine through her era, things were kind of straightforward,
Right. Okay.
yeah, with
Okay.
church, and that kind of thing, I would just slip off to practice some secular music. But
so how
yeah.
did how did they feel about you doing jazz?
Um, well, I'll tell you later on as mom got a chance to see some of my success,
Mhm.
and she saw my dedication and my sacrifice to music, and some of the accomplishments,
Mhm.
that came my way, and that made her proud.
Okay.
And so as she listened to me, actually,
Uh-huh.
the video that I have, Don't Stop video, if you've seen that
Right.
video, then you would see my mother in that
Okay.
video as she takes my little baby picture and sits it back up on the mantelpiece. That's
Yeah.
my mom. So I says, Mom, I'm getting ready to do this video to a song of mine, and I want you in this video. She says, well, okay, and and all of that. And she said, do I need to dress up? I said, well, just a little bit. You don't have to dress. It's not church. And let's keep it
Yeah.
natural. And so mom was excited about that. She said, what do you want me to do? I said, just take the picture and sit up on the mantle. So
Amen.
forever, mom passed several years ago, but
Mhm.
forever now I can watch this video and I have mom in that video.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that. And for those who go back and watch the repeat of the show, we
Mhm.
opened up with "Don't Stop,"
Yeah.
Gary's song, and I was going to ask you about was that your mother in the video, and then I saw
Yes.
the little boy. I didn't know if that was a son, grandson, another family.
Yeah, if you ever really check the video out from the beginning to the end, I really like to make videos that are kind of storytelling.
All right.
And so that video, well, the little boy that's in the video is my great nephew.
Okay.
And he was like, well, Uncle Gary, teach me how to play guitar. I says, well, I'm gonna get you a guitar for Christmas. And I actually did, and got him one. I says, but I need you in this video. So at the beginning of that video, it's really a story of my journey really quickly in the length of that song. The street, if you go back to that video, the street, and you'll see the street sign, there's the street
Right.
that I grew up on. Our house burned down when we were 5 years old. I was 5 years old, so I remember that vividly. But I
Okay.
found an old abandoned house in the neighborhood, And
Okay.
so I had my videographer, we would go there. And so that particular video is a story of kind of my journey. The little boy, my great nephew, is me. And then I show up in the video, of course. And then you see some old footage. I saw you when you played that tonight, some old footage. And that was one of my old groups that I started called Style. And I had a full beard and all that kind of stuff in there. And then it showed clips of my journey through. And then it ends up at a theater. So that wasn't really superimposed over there. The theater actually wanted me to put my name in lights up there. So they actually put the name of the song and everything in lights up there. And that's supposed to be where I am now. So that was a journey video. Yes.
I love that when people can share, experiences and their journeys
Mhm.
through it. So is music all you ever wanted to do, Garry?
Well, music. Well, actually, I am an artist too. I draw and I paint and
Okay.
things. And so my art teacher really wanted me to be an artist, to paint and draw. And so early on through high school, she saw that in me and kind of went through training with me all the way up to my senior year as an artist. And I was a student art teacher in high school and as well. And then I had gotten a scholarship to go to one of the colleges, University of Greensboro, North Carolina, in commercial art.
Okay.
And stupid me is that I was torn between which way to go. And, I was like, but music,
Right.
but art,
Right.
as this art
Right.
major. And so I left that scholarship on the table as an art major to go to University of North Carolina. And she cried actually that day. My art teacher did. She really did. She said, but you're so good and I want you to go there to do that. But the
Right.
love of music, had gotten a hold of me. And I actually started going out touring when I was actually in my high school year. But I told him you had to get me back to school before Monday, you
Before
know.
Monday. Wow.
Right. Yeah. And so I've been in this for a long time. So the love of music, was number one, but the art is definitely a close number two.
I love it. Do you remember, Garry, like maybe before you got on radio or any mainstream other, you remember like the first song you ever wrote?
Whew, man, we had a band in high school,
Okay.
and they were well back then in the 70s, bands were huge.
Right.
So most of the bands were like, you can find a band that was under 14 members, full horn sections, two guitar players, two keyboard players, and on and on. Guys up front stepping in singing, percussionists. And so
Right.
you couldn't find a band during the 70s that was under 14 members. And so during that time we had a band in high school, very
Okay.
big band. And I remember we got together one time and we says we need to record something. So I came up with this song. And that song is somewhere on a cassette somewhere, and I cannot find it. I wish that I could. And it was a song that I had written at that time. That was in
Okay.
high school.
I
Yeah.
love that. So let me ask you, so who are you currently in today's artists? Say outside of maybe some of your jazz. Is there anyone else you're listening to?
I'm listening to so many people that I listen to because there's so many great artists that are out there.
Right.
I listen to I listen to country singers.
Right.
I listen to blues singers. One guitarist that I listen to a lot, Eric Gales,
Okay.
that plays blues, and he is, oh man, he's from another planet in playing guitar, and I can listen to him all day and play. So I listen to Eric Gales and so many other different artists that I listen to because they are just so purist in what
Mhm.
they do, and you can hear that. And when I listen to artists, I try to listen beyond the music, if you will.
Right.
As artists, we produce records and we put them out there,
Right.
but I try to find the spirit of that song when I listen to it and follow that person. It's like, where did that song begin? What
Right.
inspired that person?
Right.
And I'm just a novice for that.
Uh-huh. So there's a question for you. Have you used any of your artwork in a project? I think that's
Any artwork in a project, not one single piece,
not one
not
single.
one single piece as of yet.
Okay,
As of yet,
as of yet.
yeah.
So also get like, what are some other hobbies that you do outside of your music? Any other hobbies?
I love outside. I
Okay,
I I, I really am. I love outside. I don't like to stay cramped up in the house too long.
right.
And so so I love outside, and like I stated before, is that my deck, I go outside and just listen to. We have a lot of woods in the back,
Okay,
and so some of my hobbies is, and I love gardening too. I think that
okay,
was a subject. I just got back. My wife and I, we just got back from Nassau,
mhm,
Bahamas, and
okay.
so we met a couple that was out there, and we were just talking and chatting about that. And they mentioned about where did we live, and I told us, so we live out in the countryside,
Right.
and so we talked about gardens and things
All
like
right.
that. And
Right.
so I like to grow gardens. I like to grow vegetables and things like that.
Okay.
But we have two groundhogs that are out in the backyard, so I can't put anything out there now until I get rid of the groundhogs because they would eat up everything that I plant.
Yeah, I can remember groundhogs. My grandparents who lived out in the country here
Yeah.
and in Alabama, and we had two groundhogs because they had chickens and they had cows. So
Hmm.
I just
Hmm.
remember, growing up in that time, and I
Hmm.
never get this time, Gary. My aunt, when we come from Ohio, and my
Yeah.
aunt used to say, "Oh God, boy, you are such a city boy." And she
Hmm.
told me, she said, "Go outside." I may have been about 9 or 10 years old, and she said, "Go get that chicken." I said,
Hmm.
"What you want me to do with the chicken?" She said, "I need you to go out there. I guess I don't bring the chicken next." She said, "We're going to eat it." I said, "What?"
Hmm.
But
Hmm. Hmm.
she said, "Boy, what do you think you eat?" And she said, and she showed some kind of way. I said, I can't do that." She said, "What?" And so my aunt was probably in her 70s at that time.
Yes.
And here she went and grabbed grabbed that
Hmm.
chicken and
Hmm. Hmm.
all
Hmm.
this. And I
Hmm.
was like,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
you learn
Yeah,
a lot.
we grew up. I'm a country boy at heart, and so we lived with our grandparents for a while. When like I stated before, when our house burned down at one particular
Mhm.
point, so we had to come and live with our grandparents. Well, my grandparents, they had a farm,
Right.
so there was a lot of, we had the chickens and the chicken coop and things like that. We had all kinds of stuff. My
Right.
granddaddy, he had a mule, couldn't afford a
Mhm.
tractor, so the mule is what we used. And so
Oh,
he would get the mule and bring it from the stable and bring it up to the field, and then he would start opening the rows, walking behind the mule and open up the rows. Some of us would be behind dropping seed, some would be dropping putting water in, and some would be closing the rows back in. So we did all of that work. Now, Papa says, if you want to eat breakfast in the morning, fresh eggs, you got to go to the hen house. You got to
that's
reach
right.
your hand up under the hens
Right.
and get those eggs. Those eggs are not clean. They don't look like they look in the store. And
Right.
so we would get those and reach up on the chickens and get the eggs, put them in the basket, in the bucket, and then we would bring them up. There was an outside spigot,
Right.
from the well. We would wash them off before we brought them in the house.
Mhm.
That's We ate our eggs that way. Now
Right.
he says, well, Sunday we're going to have a great meal, So,
Mhm.
we would pick the corn from out of the field and shuck the corn, shuck the peas, all those things, and grandma would prepare that meal, and
Right.
they would. But then Papa would say, "Well, we got to have meat for the table,
Right.
so let's go out there and get one of these chickens." Go ahead and get what? So here we go. So I
Here
have
we
to
go.
chase the chicken down, corner the chicken in the corner, drop down and get that chicken, and
Right.
so Papa would have the axe ready,
Yeah.
and he would just chop the head off, and then sometimes he would just wring the neck of the chicken. The
Right.
chicken would go
Right.
flop, 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 it would fall down.
Like,
Put him in some hot water, you know what to do.
that's right.
So, and you got fresh chicken for the table.
The table. Okay, Gary, this has been such. Hey,
Yeah,
Rachel, this has been such a wonderful conversation.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest is smooth jazz R&B guitarist, Mr. Garry Percell. And Gary, let people, what do you want people to take away when they hear your music?
Wow, I just want them to take away from my music that what I am doing with my music, that I want it to be meaningful to them. I want it to be there and available for them when they're going through something, instead of reaching for something else that may not be good for you, but
Right.
reach for Gary Purcell's music, and hopefully that it would calm you, and it would mend the broken heart, that it would do all of these things, because that's what music was designed to do. And and I just hope that they really enjoy what I'm doing. And if I could say this, before we go, it is
Uh-huh.
that in the passing of my daughter Chantel, in December 1st, 2023, it is that I'm dedicating these songs going in circles in my project in her memory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. Thank you. And again, my sincere condolences. I know we talked before we came
yes,
on the show. So my
yeah,
sincere condolences to you, your wife, and your family on the loss
thank
of
you.
Chantel too.
Yes.
Um, and I was getting some stuff on some tweets, and I was trying not to look at my phone, and people were wondering, do you have physical copies of CD that you autograph that people can order from you? Do you have that?
I do. I just did a festival, Grove, wine venue, a festival this past Saturday, I believe it was, in and I sold a lot of them there. So I have some, but I forgot to reorder some more. But if you want that Tony Terry to, going in circles, I have some copies of Going in Circles. If you just reach out to me, you could even go to my inbox. And if you go to my inbox and just let me know where you need it mailed to, that would be fine. And we can talk about everything there, and I can sign it and get it in the mail. I have mailed out several ones like that.
Okay, I love that. And before last question, and before we let you go, what's the best advice that you have been given? Someone watching this show, someone go back and watch the replay. They say, "Oh wow, who's this Gary Purcell? I love what he's doing. I want to follow in your footsteps." And we know this industry, this business, the
Mhm.
entertainment business, it's not easy. And
Mm-mm.
people, lights, camera, action. They
Yeah,
think it's everything is just always great. So,
yeah.
any words of wisdom that you can share with us before you go?
Well, if for anyone who's trying to venture into this music industry, in this music world, it is not for the faint of heart.
Okay.
You're gonna get a lot of rejections. You're gonna get a lot of no's to things that you think that and you feel like that is worth a lot and worth something. And but going back to my first radio song that I actually went nationally with, "Don't Stop," and that's where it came from. It is
Wow.
that don't stop. Don't let anything stop you. Nothing at all. Keep working, keep grinding. When one door closed, another door is swinging open.
Okay.
Stay up on your feet, and when that door opens, just doesn't be, don't just drag through it, but get up and run through that door.
That's right.
Because on the other side of that door is more blessings and other opportunities will open for you.
That's right.
So do not give up. Just keep
Okay.
pressing forward.
I
Yeah.
love that. And is the best way to follow you is on your website? Because people are asking me, where are you performing next? Is that always updated on your website?
Not on the website right now. I get that question a lot. Where are you performing next? And
Right.
I actually, it's a process for me at this particular time. I really want to get into putting out some great music.
Okay.
Um, I have been approached with some future dates that are coming up,
Okay.
and I will post those on my website, uh, um, www.garypurcell.com,
Okay.
and so just keep out, a lookout for that. Yeah.
We will definitely do that.
Mhm.
And ladies and gentlemen, our special guest is recording artist, Mr. Gary Percell. Don't forget GaryPurcell.com. His new release is available out now, streaming everywhere, Going in Circles, featuring Mr. Tony Terry. Gary, you have to come back on the show.
Hey, just invite me back. I'm here.
We're going to invite you back, and we're going to bring
Yeah.
Dr. G back into the room. I don't know if she has any final words or something she may want to say. So we'll bring Dr. G. There she is.
My final thought. First of all, that song is awesome. I just make sure I emailed you. I need 2 copies signed. Let me know when I send
Okay.
my copy. Download my copy. Got it. Listen. You guys know how I feel about sharing people's stuff. Share the song. You're gonna spend 99 cents on a song, and y'all spend $12 on a cup of coffee. That once you drink it, it's gone. This
Yeah.
song you can play over and over again, like going in circles. I'm just saying, just shameless plug.
Great plug. Great plug.
Right, we love it. Hey, and Gary, can you hang around a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, Dr. G,
Definitely.
can you hang around just for a little bit?
I'm here.
Thank you. All right. Hey, everybody. Again, I'm Jazzie K. Ward. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Dr. G, Chef D, Garry Percell. Thank you so much for your support of the show. Don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio, which is my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe on the channel. kwardradio.com is the website. If you would like to be featured on the show, like music played, there's my address where you can mail physical copies if you would like to support the show. My Cash App, PayPal link is there as well. You can join me each and every Saturday on 90.7 FM WVAS, broadcasting right there on the campus of Alabama State University, where you can hear artists like Garry Percell and all these other gifted indie soul artists again, okay? Again, we're going to close out the show. Thank you so much. Remember, make sure you take care of yourself and always, hey, Mr. Bobby, be kind to others. We'll see you next time.
It's the Jazzie K. Ward coming at ya.